Hey everyone, we'll be starting momentarily. I'm getting everything set up as normal, so please bear with me. Okay, that's all good. Connection seems fine. Everything seems to be okay. So, we can begin. Hi everyone, welcome to another stream. The first for this week. We're going to be continuing with Apollo Justice Trilogy Dual Destinies. Hey, Nation! Welcome! You are ready for one, Sean. Congratulations, you earn a special prize to be here early. How's neck? It's well, the side that was hurting is not hurting anymore. Now it's my shoulder on the opposite side. But it's not too bad. I can move fine, mostly. So yeah, I'm good. If you heard a loud noise, that was me hitting the microphone by accident. But yeah, we're going to be continuing on where we were last time, which was the end of the first case where Apollo had been knocked out somehow. And he may be dead again. He's also covered in a bunch of bandages, which may be attributed to the explosion that destroyed the courthouse. And we are currently trying to get Juniper not put in prison for something that she didn't commit, which was to set off the bomb. Am I sick? I don't think I'm sick. I might. I don't know. But yeah. Let us see what we can get up to today. So let us go. We shall see if I can remember all of the voices I did for these people. Sound congested, do I? How about now? Maybe doing some what you call it, voices will make it work better. Make sure things are being picked up. Yes. Refresh this. Worse. They sound worse. Oh no. I don't know. I feel fine. I mean, doing what I just did would, like, maybe give me a slight headache. But other than that, I feel fine. I'm gonna jinx it, and you're gonna make me sick. Anyway, so 1932, 1936. Dale, trial day 2. I don't get to do any investigation. Oh man. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 5. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. For some reason, I just forgotten that she was so yellow, even though we did this last week. I'm just like, oh. Mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh, hey. Did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? You don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Has there been ever been an investigation of the first case for each attorney? Not that I can recall. We did do the other ones. I don't recall investigation, but the problem is that we usually end on the first day. So the fact that this is a two-parter is already different. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Anathena. Anathena? Yeah, we'll go with that one. You might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. You said justice! Oh! Oh god, it actually did do that. Justice. Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. It's all my fault. Tina. Oh, Judy, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. Damn it. I mean, oh, that's good. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. It was still quite a shock to stumble upon a scene like that. Well, it looked like he had also landed on a rock, which, you know, might not be good for his brain. He doesn't remember who he is. Is Miss Woods all right, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on the sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh? Guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock. But I'm alright, said the worst liar ever. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like these. Are they now? After all, they learn to control their emotions too. No. That's not how psychology works. It's not about controlling your emotions. It's about dealing with them. Somehow I don't think it's as easy as she makes it out sound. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, can't recall anything from the time before he was assaulted. So he's awake then. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him. Turns out it was just a rock that fell from the ceiling. He wasn't attacked, just the rock fell down on him. The doctor said it was probably due to that hit he took to the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. You know how that feels. Yeah, you got hit with a fire hydrant, which is probably worse. Because that's metal. Rock breaks. Like that scene where she acts brave where her widget shows she's scared. Yeah. Who in the world would do such a thing? Huh? Mr. Wright? Was it you? That sounds like it's accusing him. Grr, just wait till I get my hands on that coward who hurt Apollo. Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? I admit I'm just as upset as you. Okay, boss, you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until we can clear Junie's name. And he said Goonies, which is not the right word. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. Better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Yeah, defendant fingerprints, the bomb, case. Loser. Earth to Mr. Right. I'm ready whenever you are. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. You bet. Might be an antagonist, would be mental. It was me all along. I perpetrated every single crime I'd sorted out. It was me. With everything that happened with Apollo, I don't have time for a proper investigation. Can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right for Miss Wood's sake and Apollo's, too. Looser, baby. December 18th, 9:50 a.m. I wish I could skip this. Why is it so slow? Hello again. What is now in session? All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe you instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question? I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor. I must say, I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed. Are you his dad now? I apologize, Your Honor. Aha! Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. A separate matter, you say? And what that might be? What? What might that be? I assume you're aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial? And speaking, of course, of the assault of Mr. Justice in the rooms of courtroom number 4. Uh-oh. Why is he bringing that up? Yes, truly a harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods. He isn't going where I think he's going, is he? Prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice have nothing to do with this trial. Ah, but I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location of the courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found. Diagram of the courtroom, as it was when Apollo discovered the assault. After. The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice? Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne, and how does it relate to this case? I believe Mr. Justice found something in the courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing. I want to use a different word, but okay. You mean he found some incriminating evidence? Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice in the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
He would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, it will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself. Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo might have figured something out. I wonder what it was. He told me I'm gonna go to look for more evidence to clear your name, Juniper. Maybe the two incidents really are related after all. I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo. Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4, Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. If you would then please testify about what happened to the court. At least you're not accosting her this time. Again, person that looks like she's just at the end of a road, so like, what am I doing here? Why am I part of the jury? Ugh. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? So Mr. Justice stayed behind by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature. Yeah. He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too. Hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out. But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins? I think Apollo might have figured something out. Something? What kind of something? Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think. Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed. She has reverse athesma. I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away. Objection! Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor. What lie is that? When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence. Okay, provide evidence of that. If you're going to accuse her of this, give evidence as to why you think this. Other than, oh, she was alone with him. Objection! No, I never. Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence, because you can see how evil she is. Just look at her. We found proof of the foul deed here in the courtroom ruins. We never saw any of that. What on earth? Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us. It's written in his blood. W-O-O-D-S? Why, isn't that Woodsy? That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters. What? I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this? Why are you blaming Apollo? Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. You were there. You didn't see that. I didn't see that. What do you mean? How could he do this? We discovered Apollo yesterday. The camera was too zoomed in to see anything. Apollo. No. Ah. Didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's screams, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were in the courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. Couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought that they would find some bloody writing there. Now then, please bring in your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I'm about to shut you up, Payne.
Hold it!
Do you always cough when you get nervous, Mr. Woods? Yes. Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods any more nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly. He literally just asked, do you cough often? Yeah, that was it. But that barely even qualified as a quasi-question. Let's hope we're relaxed with a little small talk before we dive into cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff. Let's talk about boys! Just in the middle of a court case. Her crushes? Really? I don't know anything about this. Well, I don't know about that. Or this. Whatever. Whatever. Just continue.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? I went to look for my medicine. Stop my coughing. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in the courtroom number 4? I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bumrat Riney. He was keeping my medicine safe for me. He was a little compartment that I can put things in, you see? And Phony Fanti has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bumrat Riney. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Riney in that area. So nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo's so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Oh, wait. Yeah, Phoenix. So that's where you went to the ruins, I see. There seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Miss Woods. Arnold started looking for Bumrat Riney near the witness stand where there was no rubble. What do you mean there's no rubble? There's rubble everywhere!
Objection!
The harem grows day by day. Apollo gets Sorry about that. Jesus, those came from nowhere. Gets shipped with a lot of different people, all considering people don't like him. Well, you know, he gets put with different people because they're better than him. They can make him a better person. As long as it isn't Trucy. Yeah. Yeah. So you started a search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. He was deaf being so brave and strong. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been able to do that. Or capable of that. But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave, and kind too. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. And it's not me, this time. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. But I think that anyone could be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright. True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please look at this diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how is it possible to walk up to the witness stand? Oh. I see your point. The rubble blocks off access to the area around the witness stand. Ah, does such a tiny inconsistency even matter? Yes! Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it. Great, now I'm not so sure it matters. A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know. That precisely what Mr. Wright does best. I call slander, Your Honor. So was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene? Let me see, Your Honor. Yes. I have one more. Here it is. It's a more pulled back version of the photo presented before. And now this is here, where it wasn't in the cutscene. Apollo's assault photo updated. You can clearly see there's more to this name. It's got, looks like an E at the end, so I was right. Woodsy. Huh? This is that hunk of metal on wheels. Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in the photo Mr. Tonate's bomb transport case? That's right. Is there some problem? Yes, that transport case was there in the courtroom before when the bomb went off. It must have been ever since. I don't know who guys you're talking about. Who's Aura? Is that in a sequel? Because I don't know who that is. Or I might have just forgotten them. Oh, that's it. Miss Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing? The bomb transport case? Yeah, when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it? As I recall, I think it was more to the right. To the right. Then that means, in that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack. Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we're talking about.
Objection!
Well, the transport case was everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear. What? Well, that certainly sounds very relevant to me. And you sound as though you know where this case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor. The diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack.
Take that!
Destroy that desk! Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. But that's... inconceivable! Mrs. Woods, where was this the transport... was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes. Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Miss Woods. I assure the court has noted an interesting fact about the position. The transport case covers up the writing in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because of the case that was in the way. Which leads to us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Objection!
Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? He's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Miss Wood's testimony alone. What? And where's this proof you're talking about? It's right here in the crime scene photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. Do you need glasses? It's literally the first thing you see. And what in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault.
Take that!
All the proof you need, Your Honor, is right here? I'm afraid I don't follow. Mr. Wright, I'm sensing give feelings of doubt from you. What? I pressed the thing! Do I need to press in a specific spot? Was that? Which means you're taking a wild stab in the dark, aren't you? Ouch, you're good. I bet you can also tell how I'm about to feel in a few seconds, too. You just earned yourself a penalty. If the transport case was moved after the assault, there should be some evidence of it. I'd better take another good look at the photo. I suggest you give it another try, Mr. Wright. And as far as it shows, it's been moved. I guess it would be the bandage part then. I thought I was close enough.
Take that!
Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandage here. I see it, but what is it? This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Just to come into the conversation with you guys, gay is a general term for everything. Okay? Specifically, you would be like homosexual or whatever, or lesbian or whatever. Right now, this has nothing to do with what we're playing, okay? Because you're going off on a tangent about something completely unrelated. I'm going to have to reel you guys in before you make a problem chat for me. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then, after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved. What? Just as Miss Wood said, the case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood. No! You did it, boss. It was a real nail biter. We can pull it off. Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, that was a very clever deduction. Clever. Oh, it was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Take that. Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you. I have just one question, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Mr. Wright didn't leave the message in blood. Mr. Justice. Then who did? Huh? What? Ow! Well... looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Well, I've heard of a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it? Ah, this feeling. It brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin. Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a 2-bit con man. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster. What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. Slow camera zoom. I have to dig my way out of the truth somehow. Who could have written that blood in the message? I don't like how she overshadowed took screen for time for Apollo. Someone else. If it wasn't Apollo, who could have left the bloody message? Maybe I'm too far ahead of this. It was Apollo. It was Apollo that left Apollo's message. It wasn't Apollo. Because if the case was there originally, that would mean that it wouldn't be there beforehand, right? Or am I overthinking this and I'm going too far ahead in my brain? Oh, she's 18.
Take that!
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean. Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm. Candace Arm write this note? Is that what it's going to be? Is that it's... Who left behind the message in blood? What? What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left a message to throw people off, it might have made sense. At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Uh-oh. Ah, I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. And you have to be the one that spells out. Hey, what do you mean by that? I know everything. I'm good at puzzles. It just took me however long until this game came out to figure it out. Why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There's no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't know about the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any investigation. Fixed all this case, and her only other cases are about her, or just the most filler case to ever fill her. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be. Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. I wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning. Yes, Your Honor. For something I pulled out of a wormhole, it could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
Huh. It clearly says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arm was a detective. Maybe Woods only meant something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked His Honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may have already guessed. And there was no radio code such as Woods in this case, or in this state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as about police codes as you do. Enough of this. I've quite taken the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing? Well, I believe it's, And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I'll declare this discussion officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code. Think, Phoenix. You can do this. Which piece of evidence will tell us the word Woods really means? You know, the way this is spelled, or like spaced, it looks like it goes woo DS. This is the best thing, I think. Case Woods. I'll just present.
Take that!
What exactly is your point with Mr. Wright? I thought this evidence was supposed to tell me that Woods really means. But doesn't it, Your Honor? Asking me, you're telling me. I guess I'll let you be the judge of that. Yes, I'll do the judging around here. I judge you deserve a penalty. Ugh, it didn't go over well. But I just know there's something here that looks like the word Woods. Now then, please try that again, shall we? Well, let's try it again. Which piece of evidence says the word Woods? My attorney's badge! Oh. I guess. I guess it could be the case. It just, they could have done this a bit better to make it look like that, because this, it just looks so weird.
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Take a look at the numbers on the case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar? No, it doesn't. Because the L looks nothing like the W. L100. What does that have to do with anything? Huh. What could numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now please take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Oh, I think I see it. That a girl. That's one of my side. It says Woods. Or you could say it was a horse of a different color, Your Honor. No, it's words. Doesn't look like a horse. The first character isn't a W, it's actually an L and a 1. Sure. There is no way combining an L and a 1 makes a W. That makes no sense. That would make a U, not an L, not a W. What? The first character isn't a W, it's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros. Now the zeros I can see. Oh my goodness. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
Objection!
Or at least a V, yeah. What are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. The next number is 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match the bloody writing. I don't know. I'm already out of this. Erase 2 lines. Let's erase the third downward stroke in the W and the curved part of the D. Oh! Don't know why the L is at a weird angle when the rest of it's all completely straight. Well, would you look at that? Oh, that's Judge saying it. Lewis? No, Your Honor. It's not meant to read as a word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact number that's on the bomb transport case.
Objection!
Ha! Erase two lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything to anything else simply by erasing two lines. What if we erase two lines from your name? Would you be happier, Mr. Rye? Well, would you, Mr. Rye? The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the two lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind the transport case number. Whoever assaulted Apollo had changed the message. If you're right, boss. What do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? You see the number here? I'm just reading this because now he's not. This is a memory. This is my identification number. Candace Arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No! To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who was trying to name. The culprit the victim was trying to identify is none other than Apollo himself.
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Toney on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Ted Toney? Apparently, the disabling bombs isn't only Mr. Toney's only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left this bomb transport case number as his dying message. She used Mr. Toney's own ID to finger him on the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Wouldn't they simply write the person's name? He's got a good point there. What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright? Only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Toney's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible that they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains she wrote Ted Toney's ID number. I said Mr., but whatever.
Objection!
Now just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it is indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. Are you stupid? If Detective Arm had left the message, it would have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Toney hid it before anyone else could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Toney was able to cover the message because he's wearing those weird goggles. He was the first to find the body. First person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Toney himself. I was the first person on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. It was a good time. When Mr. Toney saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the bloody message, or the message in blood, was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. Those letters lived on to serve another function. And Mr. Toney used them in another incident. Oh, the assault of Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Toney had hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purpose. He didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding two lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind, He changed the meaning of the message. Even though you can kind of tell that they're actually really made because they're not as dry as the other ones. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate. Gah! Phoenix, you need to stand up a little bit more straighter. You're hunching. Order in the court. Order, I say. Looks like we'll have to hear from the bond specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tonate take to the witness stand. Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. Finally draw Mr. Tonate back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me make your lips Now watch me take your lips apart and kiss you. Take your lies apart. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are laughable.
Objection!
I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in blood matches your ID number. And it just so happens to be right there. Same ID, number that's on the bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her bloody message. You were the one who could have hidden the writing, then used it again later. I see. ×2. But then let me ask you, do you have any proof that the Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to... They're both useful. They both are. I wouldn't say handwriting because you're using a finger and no one uses a finger to write things. So I say DNA. Your Honor, I request a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it will be obvious who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test for the forensic routine. Yes, Your Honor! It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. You're a bomb expert, not a lie expert. I've had enough of my trial today. Can I go home? I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written it. She was struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from there where the bloody message was found. And that's what Emma has been doing this whole game. Huh? So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near the writing was? Or where the writing was? What? Where the writing was? God, so many W's I'm getting a lisp. Precisely, it is as plain as day that she could not have written it. That's true, that the body that was discovered near the entrance to the body courtroom body. Please have a look at the crime scene photo. Is this a different photo? As you can see, there is blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. Crime scene photo of the aftermath of courtroom number 4 bombing and the victim. I see. All right then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? Dude, if you say stuff like this, you're just going to make it more obvious that it's you to everyone in the court, not just Phoenix. Yeah. I know. Bloody is a slang term. Yeah, I know, because I use it. It's bloody. Bloody hell. You know, stuff like that.
Hold it!
Why were you the first person on the scene? To secure the area, it is regulation for a bomb disposal specialist to enter first, because they are disposable. In other words, you had the opportunity to alter the bloody writing then, didn't you? Well...
Objection!
Mr. Wright, please don't interrupt. Mr. Tonate is about to give the testimony that will show just how wrong your reasoning is. Darn. I think he was just about to say something interesting, too. When I went in and saw the aftermath, well, it was quite the disaster.
Hold it!
You were able to tell this even with those goggles on? With these goggles, there is no way I could have missed something like that. I can see quite well with them. In fact, I can see every hair on your spiky head. Oh, you have a few greys, Mr. Wright. What? Oh, Mr. Wright, you're always working so hard, keeping our office together. Wait a minute, I don't have any grey hairs. Just kidding.
Objection!
I object to the witness's attempt to prematurely give me grey hair. Can we put him in prison? Execute him? Mr. Tonate, this court frowns upon untoward comments on a person's hair or lack thereof. I'm sensing a great wave of sorrow come from the judge. My apologies, Your Honor. May I please continue my testimony?
Hold it!
If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did? Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods. He's not dead. A final message from your poor subordinate. Poor Mr. Justice. I'm starting to get all misty-eyed. Apollo's not dead, folks. So how can you be so sure it wasn't Detective Arm who wrote that message? It is very simple. I'm lying. That's why. Towards the back of head, calls with a flat object. Flat. This is not flat. This is a corner. But I don't think I could present it here. So I'll press. Do you imagine she was thrown back by the force of the blast? Honestly, it would be interesting to see grey streak into Wright's hair. It would be. A bomb can inflict damage not only from the explosion itself, but also substantial secondary damage from the blast wind. Detective Arm unfortunately hit her head on some rubble. It stated in her autopsy report as well. Cause of death, trauma to the back of the head. Ah, but the autopsy report. I better take another look at that. Now, do you see, Detective Arm could not have written that message. The reason for that being, she was dead. Okay, so I was right. There is something here.
Objection!
See, pressing gave me the answer. It's like, okay, they brought it up, so that must mean it's important. Or I was right on that thinking. You're a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. Take a look at this autopsy. Specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head, caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. My hair is not a murder weapon. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body? That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely the floor or some other flat surface. And thus, this location was somewhere near the bloody writing was found. In that case, the defendant, she definitely could have written that message. Your Honor, I have the results of the bloodstain analysis. Ah, very good. Timing, let's take a look. According to the report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as far as the defense claims, only the parts the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear the defense's assertion is correct after all. When in doubt, just look at my brain. I mean, Wright doesn't use gel, so that hair must be pretty tough. It's the wind. When he uses his pointing powers, the wind blows it back. That's why. Yes! You did it! You were right, boss. Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at that bloody writing analysis later. No, do it now. DNA analysis definitely proves the blood of the writing to be that of the victim, Candace Arm, age 27. However, the lines that were added later were found to be written in the blood of Apollo Justice, age 23. That's it? Oh, 1-1. Mr. Tonate, it is now apparent that you now have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. It's just a prank, bro. Did he seriously type? Because that would actually make it go ellipses, 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 or period, question mark, whatever. Fine, I will confess. You will? But then why are you so calm? This time I will tell the truth. The truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked. But I did not detonate the bomb. Ooh, I like that bass. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. You can't just say my bad. That's literal. You're withholding evidence from a court case. You can get put in prison for that. I see. So it is your assertion that you were merely moved the body. Is that it? That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm. Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute. That in itself is a criminal act. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor. Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. Again, it's just a prank, bro. I just killed him for fun, you know? Okay, then you can go free. It was just a prank. Oh, it got someone killed, but you know. Oh.
Hold it!
To admit, they actually did see the bloody writing that Detective Arm left. My bad. I should have said so from the outset. I just wanted to hold information from everyone. And you are sure it was your ID number? I am sure it was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well. Those funky things were provided by the police department. Although these are special goggles customized by me personally. Speaking of personalized, sunglasses of mine were custom made as well. No one cares. Shut up, Payne. They were specifically created to be particularly dark and shiny. Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany and was custom made as well. I swear you've mentioned that before. It was specially created to make a particularly loud and resounding sound. Wish I had something to brag about. You got specially made hair. Remember that? Be that all that as it may, I just want to reconfirm that you saw the bloody writing clearly, and that it was your ID number. That is correct. My ID number was written in blood on the floor.
Hold it!
And it was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom. Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that sent me into a panic. Sounds like you were crying. Wow. I'm surprised a game from America or Japan that says Tizzy. Sounds like you weren't crying, Tizzy. If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. And I would have also hidden evidence and moved a body. Can't imagine it coming across the message "Sykes" written in blood. If I saw gasping pain written in blood, I'd certainly make me gasp. Rest assured, Mr. Tony, I understand how you might have felt. And so you discovered your ID number written in blood at the scene, and? That is right. I saw it with my own eyes. The very clearly said L1. Why do they keep bringing this up? Is it important?
Hold it!
Didn't you? The victim may have a special knowledge of who the bomber was. I have no idea what thoughts Detective Arm may have had inside her head. It is not like... Oh, why are you... It is not like I ever dismantled her mind to check. He said that as the robot language for some reason. Mr. Wright, if you have suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in a court of law. Even school children know that. How many years have you been a defense attorney now? Cut me some slack, will you? He hasn't been a defense attorney for years. This is his first case back. Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back, after all. And in that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am. I suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist. Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony. With pleasure, my ID number was left at the scene, but...
Hold it!
How do you mistake someone for the real bomber? If I'm mistaken, you mean you had nothing to do with the explosion? That is correct. That is why I was so shocked when I saw my ID number. The victim must have suspected Mr. Tony for no reason other than the fact that, as the bomb specialist, he was in charge of the bomb. In other words, a false accusation. It's vocational discrimination, I say. I do not support discrimination of any kind. Well spoken, Your Honor. If the victim had been found to be killed with a gavel, Mr. Blue Suit over there probably would have pinned the crime on you. He would? Well, that just won't do. Mr. Wright, if you dare try to pin anything on me, I will find you in contempt of court. And what if you actually did do something? But I've never even tried to harm a hair on a strand of your beard, Your Honor. Well said, Mr. Payne, because I am so closely associated with bombs. I was afraid I would be prosecuted if anyone saw the bloody writing.
Hold it!
You didn't think to clean away the bloody writing? I didn't have time. By the time I found the message, the blood was already dry. The police were waiting just outside for me to secure the room, and I still had to move the body. I was in a panic. With no time to spare, I temporarily covered the writing with my case. Didn't you think the police would find it during their investigation? They clearly didn't, because they're bad at their job. Regulation stipulates only specialists may touch transport cases. Because of that danger, you see, I thought I would clean up the writing once they were finished. My bad? Does he really think that will just magically smoothing everything over? This guy is something else. I don't believe Detective Arm's dying message was just some mistake. He won't struggle out of this that easily. What did Mr. Tonate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There has to be a contradiction written in this testimony somewhere. Was that time when Wright talked to Killer about killing people, particularly the judge? Yeah, yeah, it would. You know, it's funny. The picture here shows more of her body, but when you click it, it shows less. Like, you can almost see her foot here, and you can see all of her arm or hand. Here, her hand's cut off, and you can't see her down to her ankle. Because he would have had to take some other piece, because it's not saying the number. It's saying, you know, 1, 5, and then it's cut off. So he maybe took something. But can I present that?
Objection!
I can. I just want to make it doubly sure that L15 or blah 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 is really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it is very clearly said. But that's odd, because there's not what I see.
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling about now? Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was the ID number in the first place? Take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis, you dumbass. Tell me, does it really say L10015R? Oh. Eep. Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tonate? Oh, right. Now I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. Come back, my beautiful contradiction. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. He does look pretty flustered. No, he looks fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe. Maybe you could have presented both. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake. Considering the guy has lied before, let's just completely trust that he's telling the truth. I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? Maybe Mr. Tonate really did see the R. But there's no R anywhere in this bloody writing. What's going on here? He took the pic... What? Huh? Now I take another good look at the photo. I think maybe... That's it! What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo and his cause of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger? Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tonate really did see the letter R. But the photo clearly shows that there was no R. No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tonate actually could have seen the R. You're going to make that claim when you better point out what you mean. What part of the photo shows Mr. Tonate could have seen the R? Am I supposed to just click in the void?
Take that!
Please look here to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red? Oh, I see it. Just on the edge where the floor is broken up. That's the R that Mr. Tonate saw.
Objection!
That's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles. That doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you?
Objection!
What Mr. Tonate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there, before the floor was damaged by the explosion. Oh, well, that explains it. Huh? Can I explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? With the bloody message running out off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion. But that's ridiculous! If that were true, it overturns your own premise. That's right, it does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. Order in the court. What kind of preposterous claim is this? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
Objection!
True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the back of the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was a victim of the blast. What? Oh, I lost my voice for a second then. It sounds like we had better look into that victim, what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Mr. Detective Arm before the trial? Let's see. According to the police report... here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was... Head Tony. Wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tonate saw the victim? That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I would now ask the court to recall something. Specifically Mr. Tonate's words from yesterday. I was the Detective Arm and I was transporting the bomb. Oh my. Sounds like you're in pain. Oh God. Mr. Tonate, just before the trial, you were the victim. Or you were with the victim. The two of you were in the you were the victim. The two of you were caught together in the scene of the crime, courtroom 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Mr. Tonate, your testimony, please. My testimony, there is no need for... He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. You must have hit the nail on the head. Because of... All I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you. Blasting. I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of the work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there.
Objection!
I like how he talks like a COD player. You were the victim who were alone with the scene of the crime. Whatever. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Objection!
Tisk, do you always have to leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright? What now, Mr. Payne in the ass? Yeah, but what did you call it? Mr. Wright. Anyway, Mr. Tonate may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm. But an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim? Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tonate had the chance without a weapon, he can't accuse him of the crime. Well, Mr. Tonate? Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't have any sword that could be used as a weapon on me. He's now become evil. I couldn't possibly have killed Mr. Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could have used as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something in there that can point us in the right direction. Well, it does say she died from a trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon, but what is flat and heavy? I don't know. It's impossible. Mr. Wright, can you indicate to the court what was used to kill Mr. Detective Arm? I believe I can. Me being the word key here word. What? What is wrong with me today? Believe being the key word here. You can? Then please do so now. What did Mr. Turnate have that would have been used as a murder weapon?
Take that!
This must have been the murder weapon. Now, don't be ridiculous. Aha, you fell right into my trap. So you confirm that this piece of evidence was not the murder weapon. That narrows my candidates down by 1. I hope you don't intend to answer by process of elimination, Mr. Wright. Because if you do, prepare to see more of this due to you. Gah! The victim was killed with a blow to the head. So the question is, which evidence connected to Mr. Turnate could serve as a blunt instrument? I know it was that. I just wanted to do it. I know it wasn't that. I'll ask you again, Mr. Wright. What did Mr. Turnate... blah, blah, blah.
Take that!
Mr. Turnate, you said you didn't have anything that could have been used as a weapon. But in fact, you had the perfect thing. What? How dare... What the devil are you talking about? You had this. That's the bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. The bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace Arm was killed by this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Grah. Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to the back of the head with the blunt object that was flat object. We assumed this injury was sustained when she hit her head on the floor. But a blow with any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. I'm out of oxygen. Doing it for that long, Jesus. What's with him? And show me some proof. Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb? He's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. Too bad. The bomb is blown to bits. It's gone now. Boom. Game over. Yeah. Game over. Yeah. That's from another Capcom game, isn't it? Mr. Wright, is there really nothing we can do with the bomb? Nothing on the bomb in the photo? Crack. I don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is broken there. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head? Definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Turnate managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? At times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different perspective. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose things he did hide. Ted Turnate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. Then he placed a body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means that there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Turnate had to hide. The body? It's either going to be the body or the words.
Take that!
Your Honor, there's something we've been all overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Turnate would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right. You can figure that out where the hiding place was. Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin down on him. So where could Mr. Tone have hidden the body during the trial?
Take that!
Wait, a box big enough for a body? A box that was in the courtroom the whole time? The box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate. What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's going to show this to me. Come again. You heard me. Now, show me what's inside the bomb transport case. What? Why? No, there's no need. I've got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. And then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died from the explosion, which makes no sense because if she was, she would be partially burned and have shrapnel in her. But where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer is right here. Inside a box of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's completely false. If it's false, you should have no objections to showing us your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Open it! Let's not. Not if you value your life. What's he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tonate, are you threatening me? I am not the only one who could disable this bomb. Well, I am the only one. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. But Mr. Tonate, didn't you say just a training model, a fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied, like I do with everything. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000. The HH-3000 was used to blow up the courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was the real HH-3000 that blew up the courtroom? Because it blew up! What more do you want? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. Right. What? Then are you to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed the courtroom number 4. I planned so far ahead, I didn't even know if I was going to use it. Mr. Tony, please be reasonable. You really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? The HH-3000 is so unique, I had never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. So I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. There really is a possibility the bomb was switched out. No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it. He's had a real bomb with him this whole time. You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time. Order in the court. I'm out of here. It's gonna blow. Run! Everyone else ran out, but we didn't. You 4 are still here. Well, aren't you brave? It just wouldn't do for the judge to presiding over this court to run. Even though I ran last time, I'm not going to run this time. For that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. As for Mr. Payne... that is... And he's off. Mr. Wright, what do we do? It'd be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? But the bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks. I can't wait. Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Can't run now. Well, it's been fun, but I'll be going now. With my dear HH-3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell.
Hold it!
You're not going anywhere, Ted Tonate. Oh. Your Honor, there is no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Ooh, that build-up. Oh, yeah! Are you sure, Mr. Wright? Huh. No more of your famous bluffing. Even at the risk of your own life. Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now, not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I mean yours. I'm not bluffing. I have proof. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tonate's bomb is not the real HH-3000. Having serious lag? Let me just check. I've got no drop frames. Everything seems fine. And it's showing fine on here. It says excellent live quality. So it might be just your side, Sean. Or YouTube. You know, YouTube likes to mess up sometimes. Really? Out with it then immediately. Where's the proof that Mr. Tonate is holding on not the real HH-3000? Bam, 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 bam.
Take that!
The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely it broke when Mr. Tonate used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right. Therefore, this is not the real HH-3000. It's like playing Sonic Unleashed again. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Mr. Tonate was clearly lying when he said that he switched the bomb with the stuffed animal. The real HH-3000 blew up in courtroom number 4. This bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Ah. Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the transport case myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. I'm too scared. No! Stop! There's blood inside. Ooh, what is that? Is that a blood stain? Just as I suspected. It is appalling how laggy it is. Ugh. Sorry, Sean. Your lies have been blown to bits, Mr. Tonate, just like your life. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that it's Detective Arm's blood. And those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. Ugh. How about it, Mr. Tonate? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence? Dismantle it? You're too late. You missed your chance to run now as you're out of time. This HH-3000 is about to explode. Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tonate. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake. It's real. This bomb is a real thing, I tell you. It's real. Mad bomber party of one. There's no time left. It's gonna blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, dismantle. I can't say all that. Dismantle. I'm not gonna make it. Only one thing left to do. Stop! Destroyed the bomb with their own chin. Made it. Hasn't got teeth anymore. And then he blew up. Where's your little beady eyes? Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. Well then. It's all over. My life has been blown to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling the bombs I disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. This trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up, and now it's all this. I thought for sure I could disguise her death with an explosion. Then that stupid attorney started sticking his nose into my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom 4 and I threw my bomb case at him. I found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him and bam. So dramatic. Leo Kim video. I don't know who that is, but nice. And then the idiot police arrested that little girl. I thought for sure I'd pin it all on her. I'm spitting all over my computer screen. Why, oh why? Ted Tunich, you are hereby under arrest. On suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. It's not a suspicion. He outright admitted that he did it. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Guilty. That sounds like gunshots. Yay! I win. I think they could have got a better loop of the cheering, because that was just like, you could tell when it cut off and just restarted again. Court is adjourned. December 18th, 12:30 p.m. 12:31. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Croive. You did it, boss. Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing. It just sort of worked out that way, didn't it? That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that you meet that mean old prosecutor hightailed it out of there, that was great. Mr. Wright, Dina, thank you for everything you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Junie. I can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope that both of you will come and visit me there sometime. That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation. And we shall never see you again. I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think. What? That's no forest. That's a mountain. But you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Are they bringing back the final piece of evidence I need to show? Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the mystery, unsolved mystery you're talking about?
Take that!
Huh? That wasn't the thing I was thinking of. Bad mind reading is my day job. Do-do-do-do-do. Good thing I saved. Unsolved mystery. Would it be the detonation? The detonator?
Take that!
The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mr. Tonate got rid of it somewhere? Yeah, it is a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up for the police to find. I'm sure it's not going to be a problem in the future. For now, we should celebrate our non-guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know. Judy, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone? Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly, to Apollo. Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? And rub it in his face that he wasn't there to get the case sorted. Great idea. I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay. And so the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. You got 3. You've got you, Athena, and Apollo. That's it. That's 3. And they just literally named that. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and Phoenix Wright. Between the 3 of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we summon Captain Planet. We are an unstoppable team. At least, that's what I believed. And then Apollo had to go and ruin it all. Or did he? But all of that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Date. Time. Right. Anytime. Anything. Agency. What was Grossberg doing at that boathouse? I don't know.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I have been seriously
I can only
injured.
say
I need to rest.
that this is something I must settle on my own.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
You just took a leave of absence. Jeez. What happened to you, Apollo? You guys are assholes. Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. When he hadn't worn a coat and had 2 eyes. We had taken our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. Woo! I had a thought and I just lost it. Damn it. So yeah, I've got it now. So, she joined in spring. What happened to all that time? She literally said that the first case they did was all the way back in spring. This case is all the way in December. Were they just doing nothing for like the entire year? I know I just saved and it just said saved completed, but I want to be doubly sure. We will see what happens in the next case. I don't know. It's almost been 2 hours. I guess we can look into the next case and we can stop there so we have like a preview for next time. The monstrous turnabout. It's like one of my Japanese animes. I did not forget the game is all out of order. Just wait until this is done, and I'll say. Into the cave you go, Birdman.
Long, long ago, the nine-tailed fox defeated the evil Tenmataro and sealed the fallen demon away.
Naruto
To this
defeated a
day,
demon
it is said
bird.
that he slumbers even still within the forbidden chamber.
Night, night, Alderman.
Why
Sweet
don't
dreams.
why don't you shout at him so he wakes up?
At long last, the revival of Tenmataro is at hand.
Yes, the mythical being, which probably doesn't exist, is going to be reborn. A few months prior. A few months. There's a difference between a few months and spring. I'm trying to think. If it's going by Japanifornia kind of month, I think spring for Japan starts around March. So you're going from March to December. But yeah, that's where it is. So, exit game. That's the preview for next time. We've got to deal with mythical beings. Don't save. Yes, I want to quit. They showed the culprit when I played, yeah. So, here's what I'm saying. I know that this whole game is out of order. You mentioned it before, and I knew beforehand anyway. However, what she just said makes no sense with how everything goes on. She said, we did our first case in spring, which means that this is the second case. Because she was saying that they were saying that this is only the second time I've been in court. This is only my second time doing a case. So that means that there have been no cases up to that point. But we know, because we know how the game works, that there are 3 more cases in between that. But the way she phrased it makes it sound like there was nothing in that time period. Spring is kind of iffy here in America. Yeah, like for here. Spring starts in like June or July time. I think it's the earliest is like April. Actually, I should check. '20th of March. Okay, so it starts from March to June. Yeah, or summer's the one that starts in July. I had my things mixed up. But yeah. Anyway, we'll find out how the timey-wimey stuff all like goes all crazy and stuff in this when we get through it. But next time we're gonna deal with a weird, evil Birdman and a guy who looks like a toy. But yeah, we shall see how everything goes next time. So thank you all for joining today. Hope everyone enjoyed. We shall continue this on Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be continuing Halo 2, so look forward to that. And yeah, thanks for joining. As usual, like, follow, subscribe, do the bell notification. Some other stuff. If you like what I do, there's links to Patreon tips in the description. Yeah, if you become a patron, you get your name added to the patron list here, where I give you the shout out of every stream, like I do with Hiroru Kuni and the Swordmaster 37. And I thank you for the continued support, and I greatly appreciate you. And I allow you to fight the devil bird and imprison him inside a tomb before being stabbed with a spear. But yeah, we shall see what happens next time. I'm looking forward to it. So until then, you all take care. Have a nice rest of the day. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you all Thursday. Until then, have a good one. Bye, Sean. Bye, Refatron. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.